Well, the Cool Smashers have successfully booked their ticket to the 2023 PVL All-Filipino Conference Finals. Creamline defeated the F2 Logistics in straight sets in Game 2 of the semis, and they will now wait for the winner of Game 3 of the PLDT Petrogas clash happening tomorrow. Now, to give us a preview of that crucial match, we have with us volleyball analyst Carmela Tunay. Welcome back to the studio.
Finally!
Hi, Pao. Hi, Boo.
Finally, last time was still via Zoom, so
Yeah.
it's good to have you back.
You know, she came in straight from work, and we really appreciate the time. So let's first talk about that sweep for Creamline. A lot of people, we love this matchup, F2 versus Creamline. Everyone's been talking about it forever. And this time, a lot on the line. Creamline obviously getting the sweep. What did you see in that game?
Well, I'm sure ang dami ding fans na disappoint na sila yung magka-match up because,
Sa
diba,
semis.
a lot of fans gusto both teams in the finals dahil nga much anticipated palagi yung Creamline and F2, and it's also an interesting storyline na before the semifinals wins of Creamline, laging F2 na nanalo sa kanila. So, I guess what happened lang talaga is that Creamline had a different motivation going back to the finals. Meanwhile, F2 somehow it's already an achievement for them na nag-semi sila kasi in the past
Best finish, yeah.
in the past two tournaments, they weren't able to deliver that well na umabot sa semi-finals, and yung injuries pa rin will always have always been there for them, and their best scorer this conference in Myla Pablo and of course with Kiana D underperformed. Personally, I think they underperformed in the semi-series. Of course, Myla not playing in that semis game 1. And even when Kiana D top scored for the team, it's not the usual intensity that we see from her. So I think those were also a big factor.
11 points for Kim Kiana D in that game. Of course, we talked about Myla Pablo a while ago, only 9. She did play, you know, despite that injury she had in game 1.
The head-to-head between the two teams are now at 2-2. So for the fans, okay, more to look forward to. It's a legit rivalry now between, you know, these big titanic teams. Okay, Myla Pablo came back in game number 2, but as you said, wasn't the same, obviously hobbled by an injury. But what was the biggest factor? Bakit sweep yung nangyari in your opinion? Especially, I think yung set 2, mabigat yung dulo na nakawala sa F2 because they had it. They had the lead, and I felt like that could have changed how the match went. But what did Creamline do to sweep them?
Generally, para everything just worked for Creamline. The technical part of the game, the breaks of the game, the other intangibles like them coming from behind in that second set yesterday. Kasi I feel like that's the one that demoralized F2 eh. Kasi kanila na yun, they were at the lead for a long duration during that second set, and that could have kept them alive, their morale, diba? But after being, you know, after Creamline keeping up, getting that win, parang syempre yung gana,
Bumagsak,
yung pagod,
no?
yung gana na nag-kick-in, tas nawala na yung
parang
gana.
ramdam mo yun. Ano? Parang lumalabas sa'yo, Mela, naalala mo yung mga gano'n na, yung nakawala, yung mga nakawalang games, right? So,
And on the technical side naman, before kasi when it's Creamline and F2, lamang talaga sa atake itong Creamline, pero hindi ganun kalaki, like 10 lang, but yesterday it was really a big disparity, and the errors of Creamline usually malaki, pero yesterday they were able to limit
They
lang.
had to keep it down. And of course, you know, just to illustrate yung point ninyo, that second set was 40 minutes long.
Right.
So that was pretty long.
Ang daming challenges.
by the start.
Naubos. Inubos yung
naubos.
challenges.
So you take a look at what happened here, and because of this, there's going to be a pretty long break here for Creamline as a way to the winner of the PLDT Petrogas matchup. Credits first to Tots Carlos, 19 points, 18 attacks and a single ace. How will the break help Creamline as they await right now the winner of the matchup we're going to talk about in just a bit?
I think hindi na applicable sa kanila yung mawawala ng momentum pag may break. Kasi I think Creamline honestly needs rest right now. I mean, Eliza's not playing, but other than that, may naririnig tayong mga ninonurse na minor injuries, like si Tot, sometimes Celine, nakita natin minsan she's really limping within the rally. So they need that rest, and I'm sure with their motivation nga na they're already a step closer to, again, getting a championship. I don't think they'll get distracted and they'll make the most out of that rest.
Yeah, they love resting. So, not on their laurels, but resting in between games. But it won't be too long will they find out who the opponent is. Tomorrow is Petrogas and PLDT. What happened in this series? Although, ito yung gusto ng fans eh.
Yeah.
Kala mo, ito na ang mangyayari, pero ito pala ang mangyayari. PLDT with a comeback win yesterday.
Yesterday,
You did that game?
Yeah,
Yes.
I did. And looking at the body language of PLDT after Petrogas crushed them in
In the
set,
first
in the
set.
first
Yeah.
set.
Yes.
I was like, parang ito yung quickest game I'm gonna cover. Kasi
Right.
usually nga 5 sets. Pero nagkaroon din ako ng hint when Michelle Morente started with her streak of points. Sabi ko kasi, ay, may mabuhay lang isa dito, may chance eh. And then she also, eventually she got support from Jovi Prado, and then, you know, everyone just gradually improving their game. Kasi during the first set, the middles were really absent. And
Wala, yeah,
even
yeah.
Mean Mendrez, na she's all over the stats in the
Pantayado.
elims. Biglang hindi siya makapalo. She looked so down yesterday. But when she got back to her groove, wala na. Larga na ulit yung PLDT, and at the same time, ito namang Petrogas, na wala naman yung kanilang yung panlaban nila na efficiency. Kasi blocking and spiking during the first set, they were just really on point.
So, Michelle Morente, 16 points. Jovi Prado, 15. You mentioned si Mendrez had 11. Mika Reyes also coming back with 11 points. You go into the next game, and I don't know what's going to happen. Kasi nakita natin nung game 1, we thought that this Petrogas team had the number of PLDT. Sa set number 1 ng game 2, we still thought the same way. How do you look at game 3 and how these two teams will approach it?
Actually, kapag gantong kapatas yung match, for me, hindi na talaga nagmamatter yung stats eh. Kasi if you look at how they won those games, same fashion lang. 4 sets, come from behind kasi the opposing team wins the first set and then babawian nila. So I think the team that gets to minimize their errors more, mas kaya. Kasi yung efficiency nila, both as a team, pagka in full effect, alam na sila yung lalaman dito, sila yung lalaman dyan. Pero kung sino yung nagko-collapse between, in the middle of the game, para they end up losing. So, I guess whoever stays more polished tomorrow.
Yun ang may lamang.
Yeah.
So, sino may lamang? Coach O.
Wala eh,
Coach O.
stats-wise.
Coach O will, you know, obviously, he wants to get into the finals. Parang it's a little bit of a vindication for him. There is, I'm sure, a personal thing for him. Coach Ralph, mga dati niyang bata to. Who has the edge here, Mela, in your opinion?
I guess, momentum-wise na lang, doon na lang ako magbabank on. Kasi hindi rin, kumbaga, nung elims, nanalo yung PLDT, kinapitan nila yung game, 5 sets win over the Petrogas Angels. And then, nung semifinals, game 1, nakabawi yung Petrogas. Pero, dikitan lang talaga eh. Pero, pag titingnan mo yung composition also ng team, of course, we know veterans na yung mga, yung Angels, but yung pagiging all-around players, like talking about itong sila, Jovi Prado, kasi nakikita ko talaga how she performs well parang in all aspects of the game. So I feel like mas marami lang creative weapons itong si Rhea de Maculangan na kaya pang i-activate. So if that works for them, they might have a bigger chance tomorrow.
Ganda nung setup nung setter matchup din pala natin, ano, for
And
those
Kat Arado
teams.
also.
Kat-
We
Yeah,
cannot
Kat
not
Arado.
mention her.
Which was your player of the game yesterday. She was tremendous. And we will see all of them tomorrow. Dahil tomorrow yan at the Mall of Asia Arena, if I'm not mistaken, the do-or-die match between Petrogas and PLDT. Hinga muna, Mela.